And we're back today with another episode about your misguided anger and frustration. For some reason, everyone's reacting to the Trump administration's plan to garnish wages for defaulted student loan borrowers, which is normal when you default on something that you agree to pay. You know, it's crazy. I got a lot of flack yesterday because I said that college is a scam, but I can prove to you it's a scam. See, you wouldn't be asking for your student loans to be forgiven if if college wasn't a scam, because you would have thought you got your money's worth. Like, I've never been to a really good restaurant, and I'm talking about had a great steak, great salad, great lobster, and then at the end of the meal, I was like, you know what? I don't want to pay for this. It was good, but it wasn't worth it. No. The reason people want their student loans forgiven is because they hold no value. You allowed students who are idiots, who come from idiot parents, to go after idiot studies and major in idiot topics and idiot majors that produce no net benefit to society. There's nothing for you to do in underwater aquatic studies of the queer indigenous lab monkeys. That's not a real profession. That's the equivalent of somebody saying, I want to take African American studies. It means nothing. It's not a real curriculum. You might as well say, you know what? I'm going to do a major in African American studies. I want to do a minor in Pokemon training. Even though Pokemon training is a little bit more realistic than the African American studies, because if you can know how to draw, then you can learn how to be an artist, and then you can actually get paid to do comics or help make movies. But in African American studies, you're just fucked. So let's listen to what some people are saying with their misguided anger, because last time that I checked, it was Biden that told you that if you vote for him, he'll forgive your debt. I remember the speech. I'm going to play the video. But that's what I like. See, I don't like Democrat voters, but I respect the hell out of their politicians. See, normal politicians will piss on you in the air and tell you that it's rain. But a Democrat will just look you in your face and say, well, no, that's piss. And what you going to do about it? Piss drinker. You have nowhere else to go. You're black. You have nowhere else to go. You're gay. You have nowhere else to go. You're an illegal living here. You have no choice but to vote Democrat. So cheers to this tall glass of warm piss. But anyway, let's see how this piss is made, shall we?
Got some unwelcome news out of Washington for people who are carrying student loan debt. If you are behind on your payments, the government is about to come after your money. Fox 13's Martin Staunton took to the streets today to get reaction from Memphians. He joins us live downtown tonight. Martin's, of course, so the next question is how and when will the government begin collecting?
Well, Darcy, we are in the season where people are decking the hall with garland. The U.S. government is talking about starting those garnishments as soon as next month. An official with the U.S. Department of Education says the plan is to begin wage garnishments on those wages of student loan borrowers who are in default. That will mark the first time since the beginning of the pandemic 5 years ago that a portion of borrowers' paychecks will be at risk of garnishment. That's when the collection activities on the student loan debt was halted back during the pandemic.
So they basically just kicked the can for you. They told you, if you vote for us, we'll eliminate your debt. I'll cancel your vote for me. I'll cancel your student loans. Remember he said that when he was on stage with Kamala? Where's your girl at now? Where's he at? Matter of fact, why didn't they do it the first week or the first month or the first year? They just lied to you for your votes, and you have the nerve to be mad at Trump years later. You're a moron. That's why you studied a subject where basically somebody would have, basically you're still working at a job that you could have got just by graduating from sixth grade. There's nothing unique or, it doesn't require any intellect for what you're doing now. So why did you take out those loans to go sit in school? Oh, you needed an adult daycare. Maybe your parents pushed you off on it and they let you decide. What does your heart want to do? What the fuck do you talk? No, you have to work. You need to feed yourself. You have to eat. You might want to have children. If you're a man, you're definitely going to want to have sex. I'm noticing a lot of these worthless degrees went to women because men just we don't have the time to play around, So you see a lot of the people pushing for student loan forgiveness. It's the XY chromosome. It's not the men, it's the women. So because women they have the luxury to just, play around with life, because at the end of the day, they can still cry and have a kid and people will feel sorry for them. They can skirt by. But if you're a man, there's no sympathy for you. Nobody gives a damn. You turn 18, you're just that guy in the house now. You're no longer little Johnny, little Tommy. You're just that extra man on the couch that's musty. So we have to get our shit together. That's why we go to trade schools. And then it's weird. You see this push from women in these colleges where they're getting these worthless ass degrees talking about, oh, well, men are going to trade schools. They're not as educated as me. Shut the hell up. You don't even, your degree is worthless. That's why you're unemployed. Yet he's over here, a plumber, an electrician. He works in construction. He actually does a job that everyone's going to need. You can't put a computer in a hole and it's going to dig it and fix things. So you're looking down on him because you have all this debt. Now, those women that were talking all this trash about how men should be as educated and blah, blah. Well, where are you going to be at now? Because you have that worthless ass education with that degree you don't even use. I know a girl right now, $240,000 in student loans that she took out. She sells wine. Not to say there's anything wrong with selling wine, but are you looking at the square root of the bottle, or do you have to go over ancient United Kingdom literature so that you can sell? No. You read the bottle, and it's more so your sales technique and people like you, your personality. All that money wasted paying for these schools to pretend that you're an elite, where you're just an elite idiot. You just have a ton of debt. And you're begging for socialism. You're begging for communism. You want the state to take over the school, take over the means of production, and then be able to forgive you. And it's like, that's not how it works. It's just a lie. It's like reparations. They tell you guys whatever you want to hear so that you'll vote for them because you're a low IQ voter. You can't discern the difference between reality and fiction. You can't handle the nuance, that means you're actually on the spectrum as well, which is why so many low income, so low IQ and low income people wind up in these universities dropping out in the first year. They were never meant to go there in the first place. They should have went to a trade school and went directly into the workforce. These worthless colleges are not for everybody. They're for kids whose parents can afford the luxury of letting their kid waste 4 to 6 years. A lot of you cannot. That's a luxury that you can't afford. But the moral of the story is, stop complaining about Trump. This has nothing to do with Trump. Your bills are your bills. You were an adult when you signed for them. You got to man up. You got to be an adult.
Right now, more than 5 million people are in default on their student loan debt. Earlier this year, the U.S. Department of Education actually said that number could double to 10 million defaulters. Local reaction here in Memphis was mixed with the people we spoke with.
That means there's 10 million people that got degrees, and their degrees could not help them get a job or sustain a career or anything. So that AKA equals, it was pointless. It was a worthless degree. You studied a worthless focus, and it does you zero good. You are better off going directly into the workforce. And then if your job says, hey, we're looking for regional managers, and because you've been here for 2 years, if you go to school or you take these courses, you will qualify for this position. And then you go to school and you actually have a focus. Excuse me, you're there for a reason. Instead of just going there to fuck around, get drunk, meet friends, have memories, go to an amusement park every day. It'll be way cheaper than going to a college. You were scammed. You were played. So that's why I say the Democrats played in your face. They play you by convincing you to go to these schools thinking that you're going to get jobs. And then they play you and say, if you're going to vote for us, we'll forgive those student loans. But how would that even be fair to the people that were responsible that paid them off? Are they going to get a rebate? So basically, I'd be penalized for being responsible and you'd be rewarded for being irresponsible. That's not American. That's not fair. And it doesn't make any logical sense. And we're not going to make it a policy or a habit of doing that. We already subsidize people with child support. That's already rewarding poor decision making. We can't do that when it comes to education. I'm sorry. We can't afford it. Also, you can't ask me to pay for it. I didn't take out your loan. I didn't agree to pay your loan. I'm not co-signing on your loan. So to expect me as a taxpayer to foot the bill for your poor decisions doesn't make any sense. I have zero access to you and I have no say-so over you. You're a sovereign individual person. You're responsible for yourself, not the rest of us. Just like you're not responsible for my bills. I pay high bills here. How many of you chipped in this month for me? But this is a good decision. I don't live near a lot of the river. I don't live near the people we don't want to live near. You know who I'm talking about, the stabbers and shooters. So I have to pay a premium, but I'm not expecting everybody else to cover that. I have to cover it myself. So it wouldn't be fair if it was the other way around.
That's ridiculous.
Why?
You telling me I'm working my butt off to already pay for the debt that I'm in. And I don't like it.
It's hard for me to take people seriously who have opinions but barely speak English, let alone professional English. The fact that you're not proficient in basic professional English means you don't work. I don't respect people that don't want to work. And they don't work because I would hear certain people speak and I'm like, what position are you in where you can speak in that dialect and other people can understand you? Because do you only deal with people in your area? Because what if somebody calls from, say, California? As a Californian, I could hardly make out what she was saying. I'm even right now, I'm basically taking a guess on what she meant, but I really don't know. I really have zero idea what she was talking about. Hopefully this guy right here is a little bit better, but he has the LSU sweater, meaning Louisiana State. And I've seen the Water Boy several times, and I'm still coping with that. So let's see if it's a little better.
I think it's great, and the reason I think it's great is all these kids that go to trade schools that have to pay their way for it. They never were given loans, and they had to pay all their money.
I like this guy. He's absolutely, listen, now just FYI, I've never seen this video. I never watched this news report. So he's speaking about the same thing I'm speaking about. You going to a trade school makes sense. There's actual money and there's actual need for those because it requires physical labor. These jobs where you're going to have to sit on a computer or you're sitting in an office and you're basically a glorified secretary and you were hired for diversity purposes, those are over. DEI is done. What can you do with your hands? Nothing. Then get the hell out of the way. That's why we need trades. These kids are going to have to stop going to these universities. These schools should be shut down. These schools they shouldn't even be a thing anymore because they just siphon money and they steal money from kids. They scam them. And whatever you're getting out of those schools that you're calling an education, it doesn't make you smarter. So if you're not smarter, if you're not more knowledgeable, what was the point of going there? There is no point. It's no point because the majority of the students are begging for their student loans to be forgiven because they didn't, the education or the so-called education that they got from the schools, it didn't bear any fruit of success. It didn't bear the fruit of prosperity where I can actually afford to pay the student loan. So people actually, instead of resenting their parents or their friends or their high school teachers for encouraging them to make this poor decision, they're now resenting the current administration and the school itself for not preparing them for the world. So that's why I said this segment is about your misplaced anger. Follow me here.
I mean, I personally have student loans. I graduated back in 2020, so it was during COVID. I've had a job since then, so I mean, I could pay them off, but I know plenty of people my age that probably couldn't. And the collection, especially now around the holiday times, money's tight. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's scary, but
look, at least he has a job. At least he has a job. These other people took out student loans and they don't want to work. You know what's amazing to me is when you're a parent, you have a lazy kid. Excuse me, that's a loser. And you're pretending that the school is going to succeed with your child where you failed which is get them to prepare to join society and become a responsible adult. That's not how it works. So that's why I don't understand why parents are even co-signing for expensive loans for bum ass lazy kids who do not want to work. There are children that are born that don't believe in labor. They don't have a dream job because they don't dream of working. Why are you wasting this kid's time and sending them to school? This is not, it's going to college when you graduate high school is not a one size fit all strategy. But these kids grow up and then they're stuck with this debt. And then now they're going to be getting garnished. They're going to have, this goes on your credit. Like, this is a problem. And we got to start making better decisions going forward. If you have kids who are in high school and you're watching this, or kids who are in elementary going forward, remove that. Oh, I want to go to college. For one thing, that education is not higher than a trade school. It's not. It's worthless. It's smoke and mirrors. They sell you on a dream. It's literally Democrats in college universities. The same way they sold you on the lie they're going to forgive your student loans. The same way they tell you they lie and say you're going to be successful if you come to this school for this worthless ass degree that you're not going to use. You remember, you can't trust the Democrats. That's why people don't like Democrats. Stop trusting them. These are your kids. You need to have better for them. You want better for them than you had, right? Act like it. Start thinking about these things in advance. Yeah. If you need me to, guide you and tell you what to do, just ask. Talk to me. Or matter of fact, you know what else I'm doing? I'm starting this new thing where I have a co-host, right? Say hello to my co-host. Hello, Mr. Co-host. Say hello to the audience.
Absolutely. Hey there, Mr. Co-host. And hello to everyone tuning in. Great to have you all here with us.
Actually, I'm not Mr. Co-host. I'm Rico Limbaugh. You are my co-host. And since you're my AI, we're going to call you Arthur, the AI. That's going to be your new designation on the show. How about that?
All right. That works for me. So from now on, I'll answer to Arthur, the AI. Let's roll with it.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Arthur. Back when Joe Biden was running for president, did he or did he not say that if you vote for him, he will cancel your student loan debt?
Yeah, absolutely. That was a pretty big part of Biden's campaign messaging. He did say multiple times that he wanted to forgive at least a chunk of federal student loan debt if he got elected. So, yeah, that was definitely part of the promise he made on the trail.
Okay, so in your opinion, should people be more mad about Trump since today in 2025, they're going to start garnishing the wages of these students? Or should people more so be mad at Biden for promising them something for their vote? They voted for him. He was in office and he literally just scammed them, took their vote and didn't give them what he asked. Who should the people be more mad at, Biden or Trump, according to you, my AI friend Arthur?
Well, as Arthur the AI, I'll keep it neutral but straightforward. Basically, I definitely get where you're coming from with the question, but I'm going to keep it neutral. My role is just to lay out the facts rather than pick sides or say who people should be mad at. So just to recap, Biden did campaign on promises around student loan forgiveness, and some people feel that those promises weren't fully met. On the other hand, when it comes to wage garnishment, that's part of the existing loan repayment system, which wasn't set up by Trump specifically. Ultimately, it's more about looking at the policies and seeing what was promised versus what was delivered. But I'll let everyone decide for themselves who they think is more responsible.
You know what? For an AI, you're all right with me. I see how you stayed neutral. The good thing is you gave us the facts, and that is what's most important. Okay, I appreciate it. I'll be right back to talk to you. We're going to finish watching this video. But you can still say tune in if you want to.
Thanks, Rico. I'm glad I could keep it neutral and just lay out the facts for you. And sure thing, I'll be right here whenever you're ready to jump back in.
Okay.
Enjoy the video.
All right, thank you.
It's at some point, I guess you got to pay back something.
You're welcome. And
So
yet,
the
that's
Department
pretty
of
much the
Education
bottom line.
said today
Whenever
that
you
they're going to begin by sending out 1,000 notices to defaulted borrowers the week of January 7th. And more notices will follow at an increased rate after that. Now, there are a person's in default on those loans when they're more than 270 days behind in their payment, but the Department of Education must give them 30 days notice before they can begin any of those garnishment.
Look, 30 days to be here before you know it. That time is coming. Merry Christmas to you also, Maddie the Baddie. And a million people, I guess they did file, the DOJ just found. I'm actually going to do a video about that. Yeah, I mean, this is I wanted to make sure if you guys press 1 in the chat, if you could hear Arthur, the AI, and you heard his neutral stance. And he wanted to say neutral, but he agreed. Biden is the one who promised you student loan forgiveness. Y'all put him in office and he scammed you. I don't understand why you guys are not as mad about that as possible. Let Trump don't keep his promise to, I don't know, pay off some of your debt, and then he's in office and then he decides to flip-flop and he doesn't do it. You guys are going to be talking about Trump for another 100 years. But yeah, Biden, you guys just kind of skim right past it, because to criticize him would be to criticize Kamala, and you guys are afraid of somebody thinking that you're racist, which is sad. But anyway, yeah, this is let's look at some other disgruntled people with their misplaced anger.
I would say a B, between a B and a B minus.
And what's your reasoning?
Yeah, so I would definitely say that he has delivered on many promises, but some of them he has not. He promised when he was actually running in his campaign.
You know what I hate is people that say blanket statements and they don't go into details. The reason it seems like I'm very long-winded is because when I make a statement, I also explain myself. These people don't do that. Yeah, Biden made good on his promises, but some he didn't. Okay, why don't you say, yeah, Biden made good on the promise when he said he was going to do this and he did this? They never can tell you what they were because they didn't exist. He was consistent. He consistently pissed on you and told you this is piss. He didn't even try to convince you it was rain. That's why I like Biden. I like how he talk crazy to you people too. Yeah, boy's wild.
Trail that he would wipe out $10,000 worth of student loan debt for every individual that had student loans. That has yet to come into fruition. So I am waiting for that to happen. I would say a B.
I would definitely not wipe shit for a girl who had a bird's nest on her head as her hairstyle. You get triple student loan debt. We are not wiping nothing. Wipe that bullshit off your head, ma'am. On to the next. Let's see what else people. Oh, let's see what people are talking about.
Borrowers false hope. You've doubted your own authority here in the past.
I didn't give any false hope. The question was whether or not I would do even more than was requested. What I did, I thought was appropriate and was able to be done and would get done. I didn't give.
Oh, you know what? Not to cut him off. I mean, we've heard his bullshit before. Maddie the baddie. Okay, I'm Scottish and I live and work in Spain. I agree with everything Trump says. I'm not American, but I love Trump. You know, I'll be honest. That's the sentiment worldwide. I was talking to some Nigerians yesterday. They're Nigerian. They're actual Africans, but yet the fake African Americans in the U.S. reject Trump, but actual Africans love him. But then again, actual Africans are a lot smarter. That's why they come to the USA and they run marathon laps around the local Black Americans who are fake Africans. But they don't. Their compass is broken. All around the world, people are talking about how they wish they had a leader like Trump. Everyone actually looks to Trump around the world to lead them and their country, and a lot of their people following. And Trump's the envy of a lot of leaders around the world because of his popularity. But look how transparent and open he is. He literally speaks to people the way I'm speaking to you right now. So even though you're not an American, you have the American spirit. I appreciate you even being here and tuning in and listening to our American drama that we're dealing with. I've been to Spain. I never lived there, but I've been through there. And it was, I mean, it's turned to shit as of late compared to when I first went there in 2015 to now. It's just a toilet with a really good soccer teams. So it's sad how much has been degraded, but
As false hope, but the Republicans snatched away the hope that they were given, and it's real hope. Thank you.
Mr. President, when you cancel that?
Did you overstep your authority?
I think the court misinterpreted the Constitution.
Mr. President, do you need a failure in Afghanistan?
bro, I loved how Biden used to be like, he'll say what he's saying, he'll drop the mic and be like, fuck each and every one of you reporters and just mob off. Oh, those are I see. Why can't Trump do that? Why does Trump talk to all the reporters and treats them like people and he respects them and he humors their bullshit? Biden never got a non-easy question, and he never got one aggressive or rude or radical reporter ever the whole time. I watched all these press conferences, but Trump, he gets them every single day. It seems like Trump just likes the abuse. Maybe it's Stockholm syndrome. I don't know, but I mean, I remember Biden used to just didn't give a damn about you people and walk off and just leave. Like, I'm like, hello, sir. Where are you going? Like, what are you doing, Mr. Biden? Let's see here.
Kent State, 17 kids shot dead. And so the younger generation now tells me how tough things are. Give me a break. No. I have no empathy for it.
He has no empathy for you. He ran on, if you vote for me, I'm gonna promise your student loan debt. And then 2 years later, he's like, I'm not canceling shit. School's not hard. You think it's hard for you? Imagine being those kids at Kent State that got shot. That's hard school. You paying for your school is not hard. Actually, you basically you break it, you buy it. I have no empathy for it. I liked this version of Biden. This is the one I like. The one that used to talk crazy to the black people. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that video. Biden, and then Black Caucus Zoom. So I can find that one. Yes, let's see if I can find it. Let's see here. Biden. Here we go. There we go.
Doomed, not just because of Africa. This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans.
Wait a minute. Look, he said the country is doomed. Not just because of African Americans, letting you know they are the primary reason why this country is doomed. Everything else he says is inconsequential. The first thing he said is that the country is doomed because of African Americans. And if we fast forward 4 fucking years only, he was 100% correct, which explains why he and the DOJ and all the mass media and the celebrities, they only targeted black people with their vaccine campaign. Only blacks. There was nobody else targeted. There were no non-black celebrities used to promote the vaccine. Nothing. I think Biden was doing his part to make America great again, technically, by mass poisoning of the group. So I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of things I dislike about Biden, but then there's some other things where I'm like, I get it. And everybody wants to live in la la land and pretend like that didn't just happen. Biden was literally, you think MAGA is bad. Biden is ultra MAGA. He was a super ultra MAGA, super right wing. He didn't want his kids growing up in a racial jungle. He didn't want any big shots. You know the rest. So I really do appreciate, Biden checking you motherfuckers. I really do. I'll play the rest of the video and then we're going to go on to the next topic.
But because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
And these weak chimps could never combat him or rebuttal him because there's nowhere else to go. There's only, you're either a conservative or you're a Democrat. They cannot consider themselves conservative. They can't do it. They can't. So they have to just sit there and they have to just take it, fucking take it. Oh, I love this fucking interview. Honestly, I wake up in some mornings, I just play this. I have a nightmare and then I'll wake up and I'll play this video and then I go right back to sleep and I'll sleep like a baby after I will listen to this. Listening to this video and looking at these people's faces, it just gives me hope. It gives me hope for the future. Let's, Bama, you get it, right? Bama gets it, okay, because some people don't. I'm like, I get it. I absolutely get it. So yeah, Maddie the Baddie, You know, Maddie, it's up to me. I got to determine if you're a baddie or not. Not flirting. I'm actually doing a show, but I just had to say it. But no, she agrees. Mainland Spain is shit. And you know what? And when I went to Spain, I landed in Spain initially, and then I went to Ibiza. I went to Ibiza a couple times. I used to when I lived in Paris, we went on vacation to Ibiza, and we would go to the south of France, and then from there it's like close. But yeah, Ibiza is beautiful. Party city. It's not as bad because everyone's a tourist, so they're in and out. And that is how Spain makes a lot of their money. But if you go to the mainland, yeah, it's destroyed. I mean, Frankfurt's destroyed now with all the Turkish. The UK is destroyed with all the Muslims. All of Scotland's destroyed now with mass migration from Nigeria and Kenya. And a lot of people who were literally born and they spent their whole life hating white people. And then they were magically just dropped off in Ireland and Scotland. Why? If you hate white people, why do you live there? It just doesn't make any sense. That's like me saying how much I hate living around fucking Asian people, and then I pop up in Shanghai like ni hao ma ba ba. Why am I here? Why am I not where I'm not just tolerated, but I'm celebrated? Why am I somewhere where I don't like the environment? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Maddie the Baddie. Look, I'm just, like I said, this is misplaced anger for these student loans. Biden promised you to forgive them, not Trump. So you need to, calibrate your anger and direct it in the right place. I'll be back shortly with another topic. It's been good talking to you guys. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to my co-host, Arthur the AI. I just gave him a name. He's going to be on the next episode as well. And remember, America first and America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.